certainly in the news, Crawfords Freightlines, local company where, tragically, 2 workplace deaths have occurred in as many months. Earlier this month, a 44-year-old man was charged with assault causing death after a fight turned, obviously deadly, between a couple of workers at the Sandgate factory. And then in July, last month, a 47-year-old Crawfords Freightlines worker suffered fatal injuries when a tyre failed on the work lift that he was working on. Well, the Transport Workers Union of Newcastle said there's also been a number of incidents involving dangerous chemicals, and it's got to the stage where some members have said they're reluctant to go into the yard because they have serious concerns for their safety. With more on that, joining me now is the Transport Workers Union Newcastle Secretary Mick Forbes. Good morning, Mick.
Yeah, good morning, Richard.
So a number of your members have come forward and said that they're concerned about actually going onto the site because they have real safety concerns?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's quite an unusual scenario, but we've actually had drivers that have approached the local union delegate and wanted to raise the concerns with the management, which they've done so, stating that they were actually concerned about going onto the site at all. I mean, obviously there's been a whole raft of safety issues that's been raised on the site. There's been, as we understand it, over the last couple of years, there's been incidents with forklifts being toppled by trains. There's been incidents with a chemical called methyl bromide, which has been sprayed around to treat timber. There's been incidences with large stockpiles of ammonium nitrate, which is used to make explosives in the mines. And then the forklift incident where someone's actually been killed, which is very sad, obviously. And then this latest incident, which people believe actually started through frustration in the load area, which is a major concern for our members because that's where they actually work.
So it's not just in recent months there has been concern. You're saying this goes back a number of years.
Well, this is what we're hearing now, is that these sort of things have come out, and there's been a whole range of incidents that we've heard, quite frankly, second-hand. But nonetheless, I guess when really serious injuries and death occurs, it really starts people talking. And unfortunately, these things have come to surface because of the recent fatalities in the yards, which is completely unacceptable.
Right. You've obviously spoken with Crawfords management.
I've had brief conversations with Crawfords management, and in fact I intend on being on site today to do our own inspection and investigation with the assistance of assistance through work cover initially to be able to have access to the site, and I'll be speaking further with Crawfords legal representative today in order to have an agreeable time to go out and do our own WHS inspection. Right.
I believe Work Cover, obviously in conjunction with the company, have done a review of all their on-site safety procedures and policy. As I understand, Work Cover have already been through that process, Mick?
I understand the same thing, and I've already, as I said, I've spoken to Work Cover. They have issued PIN notices, which is improvement notices in certain areas, particularly in the load area, where it's a particular area where our members have got great concern, and we'll be looking forward to the continued support from Work Cover in order to get this yard cleaned up. I mean, once again, we've got a workplace where people are not only being put at risk, but in some instances, worst case scenario, they're losing their lives, and it's just completely unacceptable.
Right, and I gather from statements you previously made that there are a number of truck drivers that are talking about actually boycotting the site altogether. Is that right?
There have been, yes. Once again, these people enter the site. The people who have talked about boycotting the site aren't actually employees of Crawfords. They come from other companies, then TW members, and they've raised concerns directly with their delegates and the management about actually boycotting going in there till there's guarantees of their safety. I mean, we've had reports of one particular person saying that he's feared for his life. I mean, you should not have to go to work and fear for your life. So once again, look, I'm not trying to beef up this issue, but when we've got people making those types of statements, it certainly is a real concern. And when you look at the recent history, that certainly supports those concerns, and we need to do something about it.
Okay, well, all right. Well, WorkCover have already reviewed, apparently, all the on-site safety procedures and policy. You've requested that the company allow you to do your own investigation. Is that right, Mick?
That's correct. So what we seek to do, and we're able to conduct ourselves within the confines of the Work Health and Safety Act, and that is we go in and look at their procedures, their written procedures, and not only their written procedures. It's one thing to have policies in the drawer, so to speak, but what's actually happening out on site. Our drivers, our members have said that they've described the place as Rafferty's rules, an accident waiting to happen. These aren't quotes from myself. These are quotes from people who actually go in to that site.
Right.
So we want to actually have a look at the operation to see how, what sort of things have been put in place to improve that. Most of the customers, who are large customers like Rio Tinto and Orica and the like, have high standards of safety procedures which they maintain. They educate their workforce, they educate the people that come onto the site, yet when those same drivers that go into those sites and pick up that material and bring it back to Crawford, from all the reports that we've had, is that it's virtually non-existent.
Okay. And
those are the types of things we need to try and address.
And you will actually be attending the Crawfords Freightlines work site today?
Yes, once again, that's my full intention. I've written to the company has responded, and shortly after this conversation, I'll be trying to reach they've now employed a legal officer to deal with the issue, so I'll be having some discussion with him in regard to an appropriate time today, but it certainly will be, as far as I'm concerned, it certainly will be today. All
right, okay, thanks very much for your time, Mick. We'll certainly stay in touch.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for your interest.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you. Mick Forbes, who's the Transport Workers Union's Newcastle Secretary, on the subject of